my name is Neil, and my story began at age 22, my last year in college. My buddy introduced me to supplements, and the supplements that I took with him basically induced energy, and it offered a spark on the last year of my college, helped me study and whatnot. And basically were a good idea. I had no symptoms at the start. But over time, about a year and a half after taking the supplements, I started to get extreme heartburn and burning sensation in the stomach. So basically, after that, I was so addicted to the supplement, I probably took the supplements about 3 to 6 months longer, not listening to my body and how it was responding. And so basically after that, I started having more and more pain. So this would probably be like 23, 24. And while I was having all the pain, I was trying to start a career, have a, make money, have a good job and all, whatnot. So a lot of the symptoms I was having at 24 were probably, I'd have stuff in the back of my throat, acid reflux, and an extreme burning. Anytime I ate or drank even water, I would get acid in the back of my throat. And it was really, really bad and scary. I basically tried to, change my diet, eat as well as I possibly could, and, basically lower the symptoms, but really almost nothing worked at all. So that brought me up to about 25, 26. I held on for a year or two, just being as good as I could, but I was just living through pain, basically. Then I consulted numerous doctors about how to beat this illness, and basically what they did is they prescribed a lot of drugs for me. So we had proton pump inhibitors, beta blockers, all kinds of drugs that did absolutely nothing, probably even increased symptoms or made things a little bit worse. So after all of that, they put me on maybe a year trial of those drugs and nothing worked. So then I consulted a couple other doctors. They had heard of this surgery that could basically repair the lower esophageal sphincter, or the LES. And it was a procedure called the Nissen fundoplication. I had that done in July of 2013. And the Nissen fundoplication it was told to me by the surgeon that it was a good idea and that it would basically solve all the problems that I had. Turns out that after the surgery, not only did I not get better, I got way, way worse. And went from 1 or 2 chronic issues to about 5. So basically when you get a Nissen fundoplication, the first sign and symptom of having Nissen fundoplication is you can barely eat or drink anything. And they told me that. I mean, I knew that. However, I don't think you know how bad it is until you really experience it. When they wrapped my stomach to close the lower esophageal sphincter, it basically made it so that I couldn't get oxygen to the brain. So the chronic issues I had before were the throat and acid reflux in the back, the back of the throat, as well as a little bit burning sensation in the stomach. And then after the surgery, I had basically headaches. Every single day I'd wake up foggy, couldn't think, couldn't get oxygen to the brain. More pain, so not only in the stomach area, but I had right under the solar plexus, I had burning pain that was probably caused by the scar tissue. And I had a lot of numbness in my left arm after the surgery as well. As well as digesting and eating food was even harder. So it went from before the surgery, I could maybe get away with having an alcoholic drink or 2, or maybe a cup of coffee, to absolutely not. Your body will not function after drinking anything. So all of that happened, and I was really struggling. I kept working. I was in actually a mortgage department. kept working for about a year and a half, and I eventually just had to give up. I couldn't beat the disease that I had, which it was labeled as GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, as well as obviously a myriad of other things. I saw probably 10 to 15 doctors within that year and a half before I gave up. So I tried everything not to give up my work. And I basically had enough. So then eventually I, consulted other doctors, and then came in the next year across Dr. Jati. It was through a family friend, and I've been seeing them now for 10 days. I can tell you that before the 10 days, I couldn't eat much of anything. I mostly was eating soup, and if I did try to eat something real, it would just close down my whole system. But now I'm actually able to eat more normal foods, such as bread and sausage and turkey, and almost you name it. He's allowed me to eat that, and my system has done okay with it. My energy has come back. My head doesn't hurt nearly as bad. I would say 80% of my headaches are gone. They come back a little, but it's only been 9 or 10 days, so it's pretty amazing how far I've come with all of this. The burning underneath the solar plexus has relieved, which is unreal, because I used to always say that it would be a possibility to beat this if that burning sensation went away, and it's pretty much relieved. So I'm very happy with where I've come with this treatment, and excited to see how it's going to go into the future. The treatment, the organ remapping, brain remapping, has basically made it so that I can breathe better again. It's made it so that I can digest things better. And one of the biggest things so far that's happened for me is I can actually sleep. And that is huge, because I could not sleep through the night before doing this organ remapping. So it's been huge for me, and it's helped quite a bit. One of the big things that makes Dr. Jati different to me is his diagnosis. So the way that he could literally tell me the symptoms in which I'm feeling every day and how they relate in the body, that was really impressive. I was blown away when he could tell me exactly the symptoms in which I had, but not only the symptoms, but where they occurred and why they occurred and how you could actually combat the problem. The other thing about Dr. Jati that I really like is he's really patient with you, and he listens and he works with you. And the medical community has kind of forgotten this idea that people need to be worked with, and they need to, have that care in their life. That's a really big deal to anybody that's seeking professional advice or help. Well, I can tell you this, after seeing 20 plus doctors, don't give up hope. There is a solution out there. Always get up every day trying to beat whatever you have, because there are solutions. And with Dr. Jati, he's definitely helped me see kind of the light on how things were going to be beaten. A lot of the things that I couldn't do before, like for example, if I tried to eat, say, a burger and fries, which Dr. Jati had me eating on day like 5 of this treatment, I would have been out of commission for 2 or 3 days. It would not have happened. I wouldn't even have thought of it. Actually, when he told me that I was going to have French fries, I laughed. I laughed at him, because I was like, that can't possibly happen. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. And so he was just like, what are you talking about? You haven't had French fries in a couple of years? I was just like, no, I haven't. And I think it's absurd that we could do this in 5 days. However, I went and got the French fries and the burger, and it was fine, because I came back back to work with him, and he just shut down the symptoms again. So it's pretty amazing what he can do, even if you think you can't eat, or that you've seen somebody that has told you discouraging remarks that you can never get better. You absolutely can. You just got to seek the right advice. If you're suffering from GERD, please don't consult a surgeon first. Try this out. It could really help you.